live in a couple seconds. Okay.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone. My name is Kayla Kunimoto. I am your vice chairman here at Unity of Tacoma. If you got it from our last message, our spiritual leader, Raylene, has retired from her position. She is making wonderful strides in her career right now, and I know that we all wish her the best success, love, and care. And that leads into my next update. I'm going to be your MC for the foreseeable future until we can maybe find someone a bit more qualified, but I can all promise you that I am trying my best. We have been figuring out the little kinks and how to give you all the message the best we can. So please bear with us if there's any hiccups. So welcome to Unity of Tacoma. We are an online church with a physical presence, although not so physical right now for all of our safety. So thank you all for joining our online session. Now I have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker, Reverend Karen Cleveland. Hello.
Hello.
And then our musical guest, Cindy Akana, who was actually our guest speaker last Sunday, and she has released her third CD. So please go email her at cindyakana@gmail.com for, look into her music. So yeah, Reverend Karen, if you could lead us into this morning's prayer, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. Okay, so wherever you are right here, right now, maybe just take a deep breath. Knowing that you are grounded into the space, that is God, that is love. And that no matter where you are, where I am, where all of our speakers, musicians, tech help, everyone is, we're all connected. For there's a point of spiritual presence within each one of us. And that point connects us all. It connects us with each other, the animals, the birds, the trees, the plants. And we are all one, knowing that there is this oneness within us, no matter where we might be watching from. Knowing that we have this capability, this great tech capability, and the technology just proves that we are connected, that I can talk with someone who might be in Oregon or Albania or Africa right now. Knowing that God is within all of this, and knowing that we have the capability to express that love, to express that God, no matter who we are, no matter here, where we are. It is all love. And I am so grateful to start this service this morning. I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for everyone that's here showing up and showing up as themselves, as God through themselves. I welcome everyone. I thank everyone, and I just call it absolutely good. And so it is. Amen.
Money doesn't define me or determine what I'm worth. Second homes and diamond rings mean less to me than keeping my word. How I treat my neighbor, the ones with unruly kids, tells you more about who I am and what I have and how I live. I believe that what's inside colors our lives. If grace and gratitude love will show. And I believe that we can change darkness and pride to display life-giving colors of the soul. Envy cannot consume me when I'm thankful for all I have. So I count life's benefits every night before going to bed. And if I'm disgruntled by the way that something is done, I simply remind myself that grace abounds for everyone. 'Cause I believe that what's inside colors our lives. If grace and gratitude love will show. And I believe that we can change darkness and pride to display life-giving colors of the soul. Peace begets peace. Patience breeds kindness. Joy, yes, joy paints laughter. All living colors of a loving soul, of the soul. 'Cause I believe that what's inside colors our lives. If grace and gratitude love will show. And I believe that we can change darkness and pride to display life-giving colors of the soul. To display life-giving colors of the soul. Peace, patience, kindness, joy, and laughter. All living colors of a loving soul. Peace, patience, kindness, joy, and laughter. All living colors of a loving soul.
Good morning. Happy spring, everyone. You know, it's so beautiful outside. It's been so beautiful, at least here at my house. I planted a bunch of seeds 3-4 weeks ago in my garden, and they're sprouting, and it's so exciting because nothing happened for a while. And I thought, oh my God, I have to replant my whole garden. But no, things are coming up. It's very exciting. It's spring. And it just makes me remember and think, what's going on inside me that needs to sprout, that needs to emerge? What's that seed that wants to come out? So today I want to talk to you about what do you need to become to thrive? You know, what do you want to become to thrive? And how do we get there? So, of course, the power is always and already within us. You know, God in us wants to emerge as only we can express God. And we have the tools to help God express exactly how God wants to express. And of course, everything that we do every day is God expressing through us. But what if we could thrive just a little bit more? What if we could maybe be just a little bit more joyful, or have more meaning in our life, or feel a little more purposeful, or whatever it is for you? What if there was just a little bit more? It doesn't have to be a lot. You know, how would that be? And of course, we can access and help this divine desire within us. We can access it and help it emerge through one of many spiritual practices. There's so many spiritual practices. And of course, a spiritual practice is simply what gets us in touch with that divine and what helps us express it. You know, it's it sounds simple, and it is fairly simple, but it's just hard to do sometimes. So I want to share a story with you about myself, because spiritual practices literally changed my life. I mean, I'm so grateful that I would just love to let everyone know and work with everyone and say, do this, or do this, or do this, whatever fits for you, because it's personal. What works for me might not work for you, but maybe you can get an idea of what might work for you. We just kind of got to get a grasp on some of them. So there's so many spiritual practices. I'm not going to talk about all of them. But I do want to mention, a simple one that helped me change my life, because I believe we are all called to do more. And we are called to, we are here to help others, perhaps, help animals, perhaps, or the earth, or it's very personal for every person. And Charles Fillmore, of course, said, to let the God within you express itself through you in the world without. Let the God within you express itself. So I just asked, do you feel like the God within you is expressing itself fully, as only you can express it? Now, I know many of you probably have established daily practices, and that's awesome. Being of the kind of group that I'm talking to, I'm sure that there are already some dedicated, consistent practices going on, and that's awesome. And even if you do, though, I encourage you maybe to think to just add something temporarily to get through, to reach another level. And if you don't already have a consistent daily spiritual practice, maybe it's time to think about doing one. And that's what I want to talk about, is a very simple one. So I'm going to take you through some steps to help recognize a desire in you that maybe needs to be expressed, a goal, a desire, God's divinity within you. But you have to do the work. So I can't do it for you. I can tell you what to do. I can give you ideas, but you're going to have to do the work. So another New Thought leader, Ernest Holmes, said that a power greater than you has put you here. Everyone has, sorry, I know most of it, but let me read it. A power greater than you has put you here. Everyone has a place to fill in life, and the world is in need of you now. Therefore, you must affirm and believe you are one with life, because you represent life. And you are one with infinite intelligence, because you can think and reason and have the capacity to choose. So I just want to say again, everyone has a place to fill in life, and the world is in need of you now. And I completely believe that. So I know that if I could finally commit to a spiritual practice, a daily, consistent spiritual practice, I know that you can too, because frankly, I was kind of lazy. And I wasn't in a good space. And I had certainly been in these teachings a long time by the time I finally made the commitment to myself. I was at least 10 years into these practices, so I knew what to do. And occasionally I did what I had to do, and I had moderate results, but I didn't make a commitment to myself. I was kind of in a bad space for me personally. I was renting a small trailer from my niece. So I had really low rent, but I was really embarrassed about where I was living. And I didn't invite any people over because I was too embarrassed. Even though I love to entertain, I love to have people over. For 4 years, I lived there and never had anyone over. But one night, I had just had enough. I honestly don't know what it was, but that night I got, and you're probably familiar with this book, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Success by Edwin Gaines. And I started reading it, and I started applying her principles in addition to some others. And that's when things started to shift for me. So like I said, I'm going to kind of share my experience and hope that I can give you some bits of tips to help you, some inspiration. And we'll do an abbreviated example version of one of the things Edwin talks about. So as I read through, she tells you in this book to write down everything you want to be, to do, to become, to have. And, you know, it might be hundreds of things, it might be thousands of things. So I wrote down everything I wanted. And I'm going to encourage you actually to follow along with me. If you have a pen and paper, if you know, go ahead and if you know something, you know, you want to do, to be, to become, to have, go ahead and write it down. So my top thing, so this was my book at the time, and I wrote everything down, but there were seven top things I was working on. But my primary one was I live in a nice home, pretty close in, by that I meant to Seattle, a learning center on the property, and a room for animals. And so when you write down what you want to write it down like present tense, like I have it right now. And that's something I'm sure you're all used to doing. So knowing that we already have it now, say it in the present tense, you know, I am it, I have it now. So when I would say to myself, I live in a nice home, pretty close in, with a learning center on the property and room for animals, something would, what's the things that come up? And again, I would recommend writing this down. You know, I'll be quiet for just a moment, just in case you are following along, because I think it's helpful to help anchor this and to help call it out as part of your life's desire. So let me just slow down for a minute. What do you want? Who do you need to become? What is it that wants to emerge from you? Because you deserve all the meaning, the joy, the love. You deserve it just by being a child of God here on the earth. And I know for me and for many people that when you say it, you get that would be nice, but it's not really true, right? So what is the thing that comes up? And there might be a lot of things. So with that particular statement, I had 9 arguments why it wasn't true. Just for example, I won't qualify for a home like that. I mean, I had no money. So let me reiterate where I was in life. I had to manage my money by moving it from account to account before things bounced or overdrafted or were overdue. I had cheap rent. I had no money. I had no savings. So anyways, I had fair credit, not great credit, not bad credit, but fair credit. So anyways, I won't qualify for a home like this. I don't have a big down payment. I can't afford the monthly payment by myself. And I was a single woman. I had a belief that single women couldn't buy nice houses, at least not this one. It's too much for me to take care of. I'll have to live really far out. I don't have enough money. It's a lot of work to live someplace like that. So these were all the things that were telling me I couldn't achieve that. And as you probably know, it's not the actual things out in life that stops you. It's this. It's what's in your consciousness. What do you really believe about yourself and what you can have? Because that's what we need to shift, right? So, I mean, these things were certainly true out there. And there was no way, though, that I would be able to achieve any of these without shifting my consciousness. So what's stopping you from your goal? What are you telling yourself? What can't you achieve because you can't? Because your consciousness says it's not possible. And if you need another angle to see why this can't come true, just think about what's the downside to getting that goal, right? So if you actually achieved it, what's the downside to that? So for me, it was things like I would have to, it would take work and money to move. So I couldn't actually move. It would take too much work, and I was lazy. And it would cost too much money. I didn't have good furniture for a nice house. I'd be too secluded because I'd have to move too far out. So what's the downside to achieving it? Or another way to look at it is, what's the benefit to staying right where you are? You know, for me, it was easy. I was comfortable. I knew the area. I didn't have to learn any new stores or routes or people. So it was easy to stay where I was. All right. So once you you have some of these, I'll call them denials or arguments, false beliefs, these reasons that you can't achieve what you want to achieve. Excuse me. Like I said, there's many spiritual practices you can use to help shift your consciousness. And, you know, Edwene talks about forgiveness, and which is an awesome practice, and I believe everyone must do. So there's forgiveness practices. There's gratitude journals, gratitude practices. There's meditations, you know, many meditations. And I know you know most of these, but maybe it's time to think about something new to add. Certainly stay with what you have. But maybe it's time to up the game a little bit and add something new. There's, you know, prayer. Affirmative prayer can certainly help shift consciousness. And having someone else pray for you, having a prayer partner or calling a prayer line can certainly help someone shift consciousness. There's visioning, journaling. There's a whole bunch of different practices you can do. I want to talk briefly about affirmations of all things. Affirmations. Now, I did quite a few spiritual practices with these things. Affirmations was not my only one, but I do want to talk about it for a minute, because if you've never fully embraced affirmations, I recommend you give it a try. And I like to do it with any kind of beads. So mala beads, prayer beads, rosary, Mardi Gras beads. I mean, honestly, just something you can track. And yes, there are ones with certain numbers of beads on them, and that's great. But if you don't have it, you don't have to wait because you don't have it. You can start wherever you are. Just start wherever you are and just keep track of it. Maybe do it twice if it's a small set of beads. So when you're doing an affirmation, and I just, like I said, I want to briefly explain this. Say first, you know, what you want instead of that false belief. But you need to make sure you can feel it and believe it. And so sometimes you have to change it up a lot. And I went through a lot of iterations before I landed on what worked for me. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. So the top thing I had to work on was, I don't have enough money, because that was simply the main player. Why I couldn't move, why I couldn't buy a house. I didn't have enough money. So I just started with, I have enough money. You know, that's simple. I have enough money. And, you know, you go around several times. I would say it, I have enough money. Actually, I would do it every day in my car. So as soon as I got in my car, I would grab my prayer beads. And I might have done affirmations. I also might have done some forgiveness, some gratitude, something else, but it was affirmations most of the time. So I have enough money. And that didn't feel so good after I did a few. I could feel that it just didn't feel quite right. So I changed the words a little bit. You know, I always have enough money. Didn't feel great. So I changed it up again. I have more than enough money. And this is what I want you to do, is to do it until you feel it. Change up the words until you feel it. That didn't quite feel right to me. So after a couple of days of doing it, I shifted it to more than enough money comes easy to me. More than enough money comes easy to me. And that felt pretty good most of the time. But after a couple of days, I even changed that one and I landed on money comes easy to me. And do you know, money comes easy to me. And so after maybe a month of saying that, I suddenly stopped and I said, oh my God, money really does come easy to me. I'm getting money from places I never expected to get money from. And you know, for 50 years, I've had this belief that I don't have enough money. Okay. It's a deep-seated belief that I don't have enough money. And so even today, I can sometimes go to that place where I don't have enough money. But all I have to do is tell myself money comes easy to me. And I go, oh yeah, money comes easy to me. It's going to be okay. Now, it doesn't matter how long it takes to get there. I started doing this book in February a few years ago. And by April, I was talking to a real estate agent and a loan officer. And in May, I started looking for houses and moved in October. So that's how fast. I mean, I was dedicated. I was ready to change my life. And that's why I say you can do it. If you're dedicated, if you apply yourself to these spiritual practices, if you maybe up the game a little bit, if you know things are pretty good, could it be better? Is there a place where there's a spark? It could be maybe a little bit better. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So 9 months before I actually moved into my house. So 8 months before I bought it. But I was feeling good enough within 3 months to actually start the process of looking. I started to believe I could do it. And I think one of the biggest things that I never thought I'd believe that me as a single woman all alone could buy a house, a decent house. That wasn't 100 miles outside of Seattle somewhere. So are you willing to give spiritual practices a new chance in a different light? And it doesn't have to be affirmations. I just wanted to share that one with you. You know, I also meditate and I talk to my spiritual leadership team every day. And I do gratitudes and, you know, I do other things too. But the affirmations can always make me feel, oh yeah, that's right. I'm okay. So I ask you, just make the commitment. Figure out what wants to emerge, what you want to become, how you want to thrive. A thriving life. Become your soul's desire and let God's life live through you. All right, thank you. And I'm going to turn you back over to Cindy and some beautiful music.
Thank you very much, Reverend Karen. I appreciated that. And I was so inspired by it. I actually pulled out a different song to sing. And this is kind of an affirmation song called See It Now. Imagine what I like. To doctor up my life, I see it now. My life is fabulous and it's filled with peace and happiness, because that's what I think about. And I'll tell you every day, I have so much, I give it away. Got a lot of room, but none for doubt. Think it, speak it, right and feel it. I think it, speak it, right and feel it. Imagine what I like. To doctor up my life, I see it now. My latest diary talks about the love I keep, and a sudden shiver without a chill. And I feel a warm embrace embrace of gentle arms around my waist, in a cozy house upon the hill. 'Cause I think it's speak it right and feel it. I think it's speak it right and feel it. Imagine what I like to doctor up my life. I think it's speak it right and feel it. I think it's speak it right and feel it. But nothing up my sleeve, just whipping up a dream. I see it now. I see it now.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful practice. So let us do a short meditation. So I'm going to invite you to sit into your chair and just feel, or your couch or your bed or wherever you might be, and just kind of feel grounded. No matter what your position is right now, maybe imagine yourself sitting on the trunk of a tree. And so the tree's roots still go deep, deep, deep into the earth. And as you sit there, you can feel the energy come up from the earth and into your body. So take a deep breath and just feel that Mother Earth energy come in for a moment. And as you exhale it back down into the earth, and it carries with it anything that's not here to serve you today, know that Mother Earth can make it into something absolutely beautiful and useful again. And breathe it back in again. And up into your heart, where you can feel the love, the energy of the Mother Earth. And then imagine from your heart up through the top of your head and up into the sky as far as you can see, to the most beautiful star you've ever seen. There's like a ray of light that just goes up and connects you with your highest divine self, your highest wisdom self. And as you breathe, the energy from your highest divine self also comes into you and into your heart and back out again. And the combination of the energies of being grounded and centered between your divine self and Mother Earth puts you in a place where you are safe, you are secure, and you are loved. And in this place, you know that divine intelligence runs through you, because all the answers you ever needed to know are already within you, and you have access to them anytime. You just connect with yourself. You know all you need to know when you need to know it. And I might encourage you, just as you feel in this place of connection right now, maybe just to ask your highest divine self, do I know? Can I, will I help emerge what needs to be expressed through me so I can thrive, so I can live my divine purpose? Reveal to me now what I need to become. And knowing that no matter what comes to you, it's perfect right now. Right here and now, it's perfect, because if it's a color, a concept, a feeling, it's absolutely perfect. There's no right answer. And knowing that as the week continues, other answers, concepts, ideas might come to you, and you can act on any and all of them. And as we come back to this space within our individual rooms, wherever we might be, as you come back to feeling your body on this earth at this time, know that you are the divine. Know that you do have that wisdom within you. And know that it is all perfect, however it unfolds in your timing. And I invite you back. Open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you.
Is it okay now? No?
I read he touched the ungodly and defended women in shame in an age when hardly anyone dared. I also read he walked on water, but his loving deeds and words say heaven walked on earth. Heaven walked on earth. Buddha taught much about suffering to overcome the power of pain, giving up his family throne for good. And through his life, like Mahatma Gandhi, peace became more than just words. I'd say heaven walked on earth. Heaven walked on earth. Yes, heaven walks with every act of kindness, and heaven sings with every thank you and please. And if you do more than wonder how to end our hunger, you walk in heavenly peace. You walk in heavenly peace. Mommy serves soup to the homeless. Isai sends money to his mom. Sui helps those who are challenged. Abdi tries to right the wrongs. Heaven walks on earth. Heaven walks on earth. Yes, heaven walks with every act of kindness, and heaven sings with every thank you and please. And if you do more than wonder how to end our hunger, you walk in heavenly peace. You walk in heavenly peace. You walk in heavenly peace. You walk in heavenly peace.
Awesome. Thank you, Sydney, and thank you, Karen, for your beautiful music and message today. I really appreciate it. So I have some last announcements for this morning. Our website, unityoftacoma.org, is now being updated weekly. So instead of having to sort through the videos to see the latest news and updates, you can just go on our website and see what's going on there. You can also sign up for text and SMS message, straight get the updates on your phone. And if you feel called to it, you can donate on our website. And just remember that just sharing this video and letting your friends and family know where you're spending your Sunday mornings does wonders for unity. We have a message and we want to show it to as many people as we can. And please join us next week for our Mother's Day message. And I guess it's my time to pray us all out. So let's start by taking a Deep breath in. And then breathe out. Then as you take another deep breath in and being present in this moment, all of us together, we give our prayer to the coming week, turning our minds towards compassion and love, and our hearts towards beauty, and our hands towards the work of peace
You're having a second monitor.
and gratitude for all. So I want to thank you both for coming on today again. It is amazing having you. I hope that we can see you again one Sunday. And I wish you all safety. So have a beautiful rest of your Sunday, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.